Okay, so our topic for today is time value of money. Makikita nyo to sa chapter 5 ng ebook natin. So, sige. Isa-isayin natin. Ano ba yung mga pag-uusapan natin for this chapter? So, una, itong timelines. Okay, and then, ano ba yung future values? So, dito may binigay na iba't ibang approach kung paano i-compute yung future value. May step-by-step approach, may formula approach, may financial calculators, tapos may spreadsheets. Then ito, pinakita lang yung graphic view of compounding process. Okay, so para sa discussion natin, ang pag-uusapan lang natin dito ay yung dalawang approach, step-by-step and formula. Okay, itong financial calculators and spreadsheets, hindi natin siya pag-uusapan. Kasi hindi natin pwedeng gamitin yung financial calculators and lalo naman yung spreadsheets pagdating sa board exams. So, okay, dapat ang practice natin ay yung formulas o yung allowed na mismo sa board exams. Okay, kasi yun naman yung ultimate goal natin, di ba? Bukod sa pumasa sa degree program ng school natin, ay pumasa tayo ng CPA boards. So, ngayon pa lang, practice na natin yung gagamitin natin mismo. Isang data natin sa board exam. Okay, so ito, hindi natin siya pag-usapan nga. Kasi itong spreadsheets, gagamitin nyo siya pag nag-work na kayo, most likely. And then itong financial calculators naman, medyo high-tech na calculator kasi ito, no? Tsaka medyo may kamahalan, so hindi ko alam kung saan to magagamit, pero sa boards ay hindi mo siya pwedeng gamitin. So may list tayo ng calculators na allowed lang sa board exams at ang nandun ay mga mga scientific calculators. So yun na yung mga advanced, yun yung most advanced na pwedeng gamitin sa calculator sa boards. Okay. So pagkatapos niyan, okay, malinaw na yan. Pagkatapos niyan, dito tayo sa present values. And then, ayan, papakita rin itong graphic view of the discounting process. Then, next itong finding the interest rate, or I. Then, finding the number of years. Then, N. Okay. So, dito sa mga bagay na to, okay, so sa 5-2 to 5-5, ang pinag-uusapan natin dyan ay yung mga lump sum na tinatawag lump sum payments. Okay? So, dito, ayan ang tatanda natin na pag sinabing lump sum kasi isang bigayan lang yung pera. Okay, so after nitong 5-5, move on tayo sa lump sum. Magkakaroon tayo ng usapan pagdating dito sa annuities. Okay, so pag annuity ang pinag-usapan naman, hindi siya isang bigayan. So, this is a series of payments, no? Equal payments. Okay, so ito, pag-uusapan din natin kung paano kuhanin ang future value ng ordinary annuity. Okay, and then yung isa pang klase ng annuity which is annuity due. Okay, and then ito, present value naman ng ordinary annuity. So kung ano man gusto nyo pag-pronounce dyan, nakasanayan na rin namin na annuity ang basa dyan, pero annuity ang proper pronunciation. So kayo nang bahala kung anong gusto nyo basa sa kanya. Basta ang mahalaga, alam natin kung paano siya computein. Okay? So, ayan. Then dito, finding annuity payments, periods, and interest rates. Okay. And then after ng annuities, ito naman, perpetuities. Okay, so pagkatapos ng perpetuities, dito naman tayo sa uneven cash flows. Okay, so 'di ba sabi natin kanina dito sa annuity, series of payments, equal payments siya. Okay, equal dapat pag annuity. Now, kapag hindi siya equal, ang tawag doon uneven cash flows. So meron din tayong discussion about yan. Okay, then after nyan, future value of uneven cash flow stream. Then, yung solving for the interest rate. So, dito kasi, pagdating dito sa solving for I ng uneven cash flows, medyo intensive na yung paggamit niya sa financial calculator pagdating dito sa discussion sa book. So, mamaya, i-discuss natin kung paano siya computein. Okay, kung anong gagawin nating atake. Kasi nga, hindi naman financial calculator yung gagamitin natin sa exams. Okay? Then yan, semi-annual and other compounding periods, didiscuss din natin. Then comparing interest rates, fractional time periods, and ito ang amortized loans. Okay, so most likely hatiin natin yung discussion kasi magiging mahaba ito kung hindi natin hatiin. Okay, so simulan na natin sa timelines. Wait, pakita muna natin yung chapter introduction and itong mga objectives for this chapter. Okay, so ito basahin na lang natin on our own. Okay, then itong putting things in perspective. Kung bakit ba mahalaga itong topic natin, basahin natin. Of all financial concepts, time value of money is the single most important. Indeed, time value analysis is used throughout the book, so it is vital that you understand this chapter before continuing. So, dyan pa lang sinabi niya na mahalaga talaga itong chapter natin. Okay, so ano bang expected natin na matutunan dito sa chapter na to? Una, explain how the time value of money works and discuss why it is such an important concept in finance. Then calculate the present value and future value of lump sums. So ito yung pinag-usapan natin kanina dun sa table of contents, lump sums. Okay. Then identify different types of annuities. Pinag-usapan din natin dun sa table of contents. Calculate the present value and future value of both an ordinary annuity and an annuity due. Okay? And then calculate relevant annuity payments. Okay, then next, calculate the present value and future value of an even cash flow stream. Okay, so sabi dyan, you will use this knowledge in later chapters that show how to value common stocks in corporate projects. Okay, so hindi pa natin pag-uusapan dito yung application ng ng present value and future value of an even cash flow stream. So, maragalam natin kung paano ito i-compute. Pero yung application niya sa next chapters pa, later chapters pa ng book na to. Okay, and then explain the difference between nominal, periodic, and effective interest rates. And ito, an understanding of this concept is necessary when comparing rates of returns on alternative investments. So, okay, dito sinabi lang din kung saan ma-apply yung topic na to, yung pag-differentiate ng nominal, periodic, and effective rate. Okay, and then discuss the basics of a loan amortization and develop a loan amortization schedule. Okay, so tara, start na natin ang chapter na to. Check ko lang kung nagre-record siya. Ayan, nagre-record naman. Okay, so timelines. So ano ba yung timeline? Ito simple lang ang gustong sabihin sa atin ng timeline. Ito ay isang representation lang. Okay. Oh, tool kung paano natin maiintindihan ng mas malalim itong time value analysis. Okay, so basahin natin. An important tool used in time value analysis, it is a graphical representation used to show the timing of cash flows. So paano ba to ginagawa itong timeline na to? Simple lang, guguhit ka lang ng isang mahabang linya na magre-represent ng time. Okay? So sa yung linya na yan, ihatiin mo into periods. Okay? So ang unang hati niya, lalagyan mo ng 0 sa taas. Okay? It represents time 0 or today. Okay? And then yung next na hati, lalagyan mo ng 1, then yung next 2, and then yung susunod pa 3 and so on. Depende sa kung ilang periods yung pag-uusapan mo o pag-uusapan nyo ng problem. Okay? So sa time 0, ang tawag sa amount ng pera doon ay PV or present value. Okay? And depende sa problem, sa some future time. Dito sa given natin, at year 3 or period 3, yun yung hinahanap natin na value. Ang tawag sa value na yun ay future value. Okay? Kaya sa question mark, kasi yun yung hahanapin natin dito sa illustrative problem na to. And then dito sa taas ng timelines ay may makikita kang rate. Itong rate na to ay tinatawag na interest rate. Okay, so itong interest rate na to ang gagamitin mo sa pag-compute ng future value ng amount na to. Okay, so ayan. Okay, so basahin lang natin. The intervals from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3 are time periods such as years or months. Okay, time 0 is today, and it is the beginning of period 1. Time 1 is one period from today, and it is both the end of period 1 and the beginning of period 2, and so forth. Although the periods are often years, periods can also be quarters or months or even days. Note that each tick mark corresponds to both the end of one period and beginning of the next one. Thus, if the periods are years, the tick mark at time 2 represents the end of year 2 and the beginning of year 3. Okay? So, ayan. So, dito sinabi lang din kung ano ba yung makikita sa timeline. So, dito cash flows are shown directly below the tick marks and the relevant interest rate is shown just above the timeline. Okay. So, ito tandaan natin kung ano ba ang itsura ng timeline, no? Kasi ito ang tutulong sa atin kung paano natin ma-visualize kung ano ba yung nangyayari sa pera. Okay, dati nung physical classes pa, most probably isasama to as solutions. Halimbawa, nag-exam kayo. So, show your solutions. Graded na bukod itong pag-drawing ng timelines kasi ganun siya kahalaga. Kapag unang encounter mo sa time value of money, para hindi ka malito, so sinasanay tayo na gumawa ng timelines. So, on your own, kaya naman natin i-practice to. Okay? Since ngayong online classes, ang mahalaga dito ay masagutan natin ng tama yung exams. Okay, so sa case ko, hindi naman ako magpapa-upload ng solutions. Okay, sa atin na to kung paano natin naatakihin yung problems. Okay, kasi merong mga fast learners naman na kayang mag-solve ng time value of money na hindi nagdo-drawing ng timelines. Okay, so kung ganun ka, pwede mo skip to, pero kung hindi ka ganun, I advise you to still draw timelines. Okay? So, move forward na tayo. Sa unang major topic sa chapter na to, future values. Okay? So, dito in-explain lang kung ano yung concept ng future value. A dollar in hand today is worth more than a dollar to be received in the future. Bakit? Kasi daw, yung dollar na na-receive mo today ay pwede mong i-invest. At yung in-invest mo na yun ay mag-earn ng interest and in effect, lalaki yung value niya at some future date. Okay? So, i-compare natin, no? Halimbawa, naka-receive ka ng $100 today. Okay? So, halimbawa, ito na lang. $100 today na-receive mo. Tapos, i-compare mo yan sa $100 na may receive mo sa future. Okay? So, equal amounts. May-receive mo ng magkaibang panahon. Okay? So, yung na-receive mo na $100 ngayon, ay pwede mo i-invest at 5% interest rate. And ultimately, sa future date, ay mag-earn siya ng interest. Okay? So, in effect, yung 100,000 mo today, ay malaki magiging value niya sa future. Okay? So, i-compare mo sa $100 na ma-receive mo in the future, malaki na or nagkaroon na ng difference pagdating dun sa amounts. Okay? So, yun lang yung sinasabi dito sa concept ng future value. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung definition of terms dito. Future value, the amount to which a cash flow or series of cash flows will grow over a given period of time when compounded at a given interest rate. Okay? So, ayan ang definition of future value. Ano naman sa present value? The value today of a future cash flow or series of cash flows. Okay. So, the process of going to future value from present value is called compounding daw. Okay? So, ano naman itong definition ng compounding? The arithmetic process of determining the final value of a cash flow or series of cash flows when compound interest is applied. Okay, so ang process daw ng pag-compute ng future value kung galing ka dito sa present value ay compounding. Okay, so ayan, sinabi dyan kung ano yung definition ng compounding at binanggit dito itong compound interest. Okay, so ano ba tong concept ng compound interest? So, dito sa part na to, sa page na to ng book, hindi pa siya dinefine kung ano ba ang compounding, pero dito sa mga susunod ay dinifferentiate na siya sa simple interest. Okay? So, ayan, simple versus compound interest. Again, Ang process ng compounding ay kung saan yung present value today ay i-compute mo para makuha yung future value niya. Okay? So, binanggit ang compound interest sa definition ng compounding. So, ayan yan. Occurs when interest is earned on prior periods interest. Okay? So, sinabi dyan na kapag ang interest mo ay nag-earn din ng interest, ang tawag doon ay compound interest. Okay? So, sa kabaligtaran naman, if interest is not earned on interest, we have simple interest. Okay, so babalikan natin to para sa illustration nyo mamaya. Pero ngayon, mahalaga, alam natin kung ano ba ang difference ng compound interest at ng simple interest. Okay, so tara dito sa, yan, dito. Okay, for an illustration, refer back to our 3-year timeline and assume that you plan to deposit $100 in a bank that pays a guaranteed 5% interest each year. How much would you have at the end of year 3? Okay, so ito daw yung illustrative problem natin, yung nandito sa timeline na to. Okay. First, we define some terms and then we set up a timeline to show how the future value is calculated. Okay, so sa point na to ng discussion natin, maganda kung may hawak ng notebook para i-jot down mo na yung mga kukuhanin nating formulas. Okay, and yung formulas na yon ay bubuuin ng mga terms na to. Okay. Okay, so i-define na natin isa-isa yung mga terms. PV, makikita mo yan sa karamihan ng formulas na gagamitin natin dito. Ang ibig sabihin lang yan ay present value. Okay? Or beginning amount. So, sa example natin, $100 yung PV natin. Okay? So, yung FV naman, ibig sabihin lang yan, future value. Bakit siya may N na subscript dito? Ang N kasi, ang ibig sabihin yan ay periods. Okay? So, kung ilang periods to. So, dun sa example natin, diba, after 3 periods yung hinahanap natin. Okay? Na future value. So, dito, kapag define natin yung terms, pwede nating sabihin na FV sub 3 or future value at 3 periods. Okay? Or after 3 periods. Yun yung basa sa kanya. Okay? So, ayan. Basahin lang natin to. N periods into the future. Okay? So, itong N, i-define siya dito sa baba. N. Number of periods involved in the analysis. Okay, so sinabi nga natin ang N ay 3 dito sa example natin. So, basahin lang natin. Sometimes the number of periods is designated with the lowercase n. So, both capital N and lowercase n indicate the number of periods involved. Okay, so take note na lang natin to para hindi tayo malito sa future. Okay, so na-define na natin yung FV. Ito namang CF. Okay, ang CF, ibig sabihin lang yan, cash flow. Okay, may sub-T rin dito. So, itong T, nagde-denote din siya ng period. Okay, so, pero para wag tayo malito, wag muna natin i-consider si CF kasi ito, babanggitin pa natin mamaya sa uneven cash flows na topic. Okay, so hindi pa siya gagamitin sa future values na section nitong chapter natin. Alalahanin lang natin na CF gagamitin natin mamaya sa uneven cash flows discussion. Okay, so cash flows can be positive or negative. The cash flows for a particular period is often given a subscript T, where T is the period. Okay, thus CF0 is equals to PV, the cash flow at time 0. Then, whereas CF sub 3 is the cash flow at the end of period 3. Okay. Then next natin na dito na term ay interest. Okay, so ang interest rate, dinedenote siya ng capital I. Okay? Pero pwede ring lowercase I. Okay? Interest earned is based on the balance at the beginning of each year, and we assume that it is paid at the end of the year. Okay? Here, I is 5%. Okay? So, paano ba i-express ang percentage as decimal? So, i-move mo lang yung decimal point niya into 2 decimal places pakaliwa. Okay? So, again, sa given natin, 5% ang interest rate. Okay, so banggitin na lang din natin dito, no? Throughout this chapter, we designate the interest rate as I. Okay? Kasi yun daw ang gamit sa karamihan ng financial calculators. Okay? So, para lang di tayo malito, I ang gagamitin natin. But, sinabi din dyan na in later chapters, we use the symbol R to denote rates. Okay? Because R is used more often in the finance literature. Okay, so wag tayong malito sa future. Ang I ay pwede ring i-represent ng letter R. Okay, so next natin na term dito is INT. Dito, ang ibig sabihin ng INT, interest earned during the year. Okay. So, ayan. So, ngayon alam na natin yung mga terms. So, pwede na natin puntahan yung formulas. Okay. So, dito binanggit lang sa baba, we can use 4 different procedures to solve time value periods. Pero dun sa 4, again, ang gagamitin lang natin ay yung step by step and yung by using formula. Okay. Yung step by step method, yun yung tinatawag na long method, no? Kasi mahaba siyang proseso. So, para mas madali nating masagutan, gagamitin natin yung formula method. Okay, so ito na, step-by-step approach. So, the timeline used to find the future value of 100 compounded for 3 years at 5% along with some calculations is shown. Okay. So, pinakita dyan yung timeline and then kung paano natin isosolve using the step-by-step approach. Okay, multiply the initial amount and each succeeding amount by 1 plus I. Okay, so pinagpalit ko lang siya. 1 plus I para hindi ka malito. I, again, is interest rate. 1 is number 1. Okay? Again, ano yung interest rate sa given problem natin? 5%. So, paano mo i-convert ulit yan into decimal? So, lalagyan mo lang na, i-move mo lang siya ng 2 decimal places. Okay, so dito, pakita natin kung paano i-compute ang future value ng $100 after 3 periods or 3 years at 5% interest. Okay, so sabi dyan, i-multiply lang natin ang paulit-ulit ng 1 plus I, yung 100. Okay, so ilang beses mo siya i-multiply? O ilang periods. Okay, so ang given natin dito ay PV, di ba? Ang PV natin is 100. Then ang interest rate is 5% or 0.05. Okay, so dito sa step-by-step approach, simple lang ang gagawin natin. Yung PV ay i-multiply lang natin. I-multiply lang natin siya by 1 plus I. Okay. Then ulitin lang natin yan kung ilang periods siya. 1 plus I ulit. Sorry sa pangit na sulat, pero 1 plus I yan. Then next, 1 plus I. Okay, so ito, 3 periods, no? 3 periods mo siya multiply. Okay, so substitute natin, no? Okay, para makuha yung future value pala. Okay, so wag natin kalimutan yan. Okay, so ayan. So ilipat lang natin para mas okay siya tingnan. FV is equals to PV times natin sa 1 plus I times 1 plus I times 1 plus I. Okay. So, substitute natin. Again, anong PV? 100. Okay, so i-multiply muna natin ng isang beses para makita natin. 1 plus I is 1.05. Okay, so ano magiging sagot dito? 100 times 1.05, 105. So, nag-agree tayo dito sa given ng problems, 105. Ayun siya, 105. Okay. Then, i-multiply daw natin ulit ng 1.05, no? Multiply ulit natin siya ng 1.05 para mapakita natin kung tama ba itong illustrative problem. Multiply natin ulit by 1.05, si 105. Ang nakuha natin ay 110.25. Okay. 0.25. Okay, so nag-agree ulit tayo dito. Then isa pa, ulitin natin ulit. Multiply natin. Then itong makukuha natin, 115.76. So, okay. So, ayan ang step-by-step approach. Okay. Then, pansinin nyo na yung naging sagot natin sa unang pag-multiply natin ng present value dun sa 1 plus interest rate, ayun yung ginamit natin sa pag-multiply ulit dun sa succeeding period. Okay. So, ito, ipakita natin. Okay. Then, itong 100 times 1.05, ang nakuha natin ay 105. Okay. So, kung titingnan natin, yung 5 na yan yung naging interest niya for one period. Okay? And then, nung sumunod na period, kasama na siya sa pagko-computa natin ng amount na mag-earn ng susunod na interest rate. Okay? So, imbis na sa 100 natin i-multiply ulit yung 1.05, dito na natin siya multiply sa 105. Okay? Kasi yun nga ang concept ng compound interest. Okay? So, ayan. Pakita na natin yung dito sa libro. Okay? So, ayan. You can earn 5% interest during the first year. So, the amount at the end of year 1 is 105. Okay? So, you begin the second year with 105. Okay? And then, yan yung i-multiply mo sa 1.05. Makukuha mo yung 110.25. Okay? And so on. Okay? So, yun nga, yun ang concept ng compound interest. Okay, so dito, this process continues and because the beginning balance is higher each successive year, the interest earned each year increases. Okay, the total interest earned, 15.76, is reflected in the final balance, 15.76. Okay, so paano ba kinuha itong 15.76? Simple lang, itong future amount, dineduct lang yung present value. Okay, so yung difference, yung na-earn na interest. Okay, so ito ang step-by-step approach. Sinabi din dito, time-consuming siya. So pupunta tayo sa formula approach. Okay, so ito i-close muna natin. Magbubukas tayo ng bagong paint page para dito sa formula. Okay, in the step-by-step approach, we multiply the amount at the beginning of each period by 1 plus I. Okay, so yan. So yan nga yung ginawa natin kanina ng step-by-step approach. Paano kung mahaba yung problem? So, higit siya sa 3. So, nagawa natin yung step-by-step approach dahil maigsi lang, no? 3 periods lang siya. Paano kapag 24 periods na? Ganon. So, ganito, ginawa yung formula. Okay, so ito, mas okay kung ilista mo na to ngayon sa index card mo o sa notebook mo para kung sakali mang kailangan mo siyang balikan, madali mo siyang mababalikan. Okay, so ang formula is this. FV sub n is equal to PV times natin sa 1 plus I raised to n. Okay. So, itong mga parentheses na to, mahalaga siya sa formula. So, huwag niyong kakalimutan yan. Okay, kasi pag namali kayo ng lagay ng parentheses, mamamali na kayo sa computation. Okay, so gamitin natin yung formula doon sa pag-compute anong kaninang problem. So, ano yung given? Present value is given. Okay, 100. Future value, ito ang nawawala. So, question mark siya. Ang interest rate, binigay kanina, 5% or 0.05. Convert natin sa decimal. And then, ang number of periods is 3. Then, latag natin yung formula. Future value is equals to present value times natin sa 1 plus I. So, lilitan ko na lang yung I para hindi kayo malito sa sulat natin. And then, raised to n. Okay, so substitute natin yung formula. Future value is equals to 100 times natin sa 1.05. 0.05 kasi yung interest rate, kinonvert natin sa decimal. Okay? Okay, and then raised to 3. Okay? So ito, pwede natin ilagay na sa calculator natin. 100 times 1.05 raised to 3. Makukuha natin yung sagot ay 115.76. Okay, so tama ba tayo? Nag-agree tayo, 115.76. So, ganun lang kasimple ang future value formula. Okay, so tara. Ito, Di ba nakita na natin kanina, kinompare yung simple interest versus compound interest. So dito yung illustration, i-compare natin. Okay. So the formula for fair value with simple interest is fair value is equals to present value plus present value times I times N. Okay? Gusto lang niya ipakita dyan, hindi nag-earn ng interest yung interest earned previously. So, okay, minultiply niya lang yung present value dun sa interest rate, and then minultiply yung nakuha amount, which is yun yung amount ng interest, into the number of periods, which is 3. Okay? So, tara, close natin to ulit. Gawa tayo ulit ng bago. Okay, so ayan, pinakita lang natin. Future value is equal to present value plus present value times I times N. Yan ang formula kapag simple interest. Okay, pero dito sa sa topic natin, ang nakikita natin kadalasan dyan ay puro compound interest problems. Okay? Pero at least dapat alam natin kung paano computein kapag hindi compounded yung problem. Okay, so sa given natin, may 100 na present value. Okay, so yan siya, 100. Then itong pag-compute naman ng interest, ay ko-compute lang natin by multiplying the interest rate do sa present value, which is 100 times 0.05. Okay? So pag ginawa mo yan, pag sinolve mo yan, makukuha mo yung amount ng interest per period. Okay? Pero ilang period ba siya kasi? 3, di ba? Kaya minultiply ulit natin sa 3. Okay? So, using this, makakompute mo siya. 100 to plus 100 times 5% times 3. So, dapat 15 yan. Okay, so 15 ang amount natin dito. 15. Then, put them together, 115. Based on simple interest. Future value is 115. Okay, so i-compare natin dun sa amount na ginamit natin ay compound interest. Diba ang nakuha natin dito sa simple. Pag compound interest naman, itong nakuha natin, 115.76. So, di ba mas malaki yung nakuha natin na future value dito sa compounding? Bakit? Kasi nga, pati yung interest earned previously dito ay nag-earn ng interest. Okay, so meron ditong self-test problem pero wag muna natin siya tingnan. Mahalaga alam natin yung formula and yung concept. Kasi dito, ibabanggitin na yung iba pang di-discuss dito sa chapter, kagaya ng annuities. Okay, so mamaya natin puntahan to. Okay, again, pagdating dito sa financial calculators, hindi natin siya gagamitin. So, skip natin tong part na to. And itong spreadsheets din. Okay, so, punta na tayo sa susunod na part. Ito po na pala, pakita lang natin yung graphic view of the compounding process. Pinakita lang dyan na ito, pataas ang nangyayari. Okay, kapag compounding yung interest. Bakit nga? Kasi nga, nag-earn ng interest yung previously earned na interest mo. Okay, basahin natin. Figure 5.1 shows how a $1 investment grows over time at different interest rates. We made the curves by solving equation 5.1 with different values for N and I. The interest rate is a growth rate. If a sum is deposited and earns 5% interest per year, the funds on deposit will grow by 5% per year. Note also that time value concepts can be applied to anything that grows: sales, population, earnings per share, or future salary. Okay. So ito, pinakita lang naman dyan kung anong itsura ng interest rates na iba-iba. Okay, so may 20%, may 10%, may 5%, and yung time periods. Okay, so itong graphical na yan, para lang din ma-visualize natin kung ano ba ang nangyayari sa kaperahan natin. Okay, kung halimbawa ay may investment tayo na nag-earn ng mga nasabing rates na yan. Okay. So, next na natin. After ng future value, ay ito naman tayo sa present value. Again, formula na naman. So, may susulat ka na naman, no? Isulat mo na yan sa notebook mo o sa index card. Okay. So, banggitin muna natin kung saan ba ginagamit itong present value na to. Okay, so dito, may illustration. We illustrate the PVs with the following example. A broker offers to sell you a treasury bond that will pay 115.76 3 years from now. So anong given? Future value. Okay. So banks are currently offering a 5% interest on 3-year certificates of deposit. And if you don't buy the bond, you will buy the CD. Okay. The 5% rate paid on CDs is defined as your opportunity cost. Okay. So, dito binanggit yung concept ng opportunity cost. Bakit? May dalawa kasing option dyan. Bibilin mo ba yung treasury bond o bibilin mo yung certificate of deposit. Okay? So, kung ano man yung bilin mo dyan, may ile-let go ka na isa. So, yung nilet go mo, yun yung tinatawag na opportunity cost. Okay? The rate of return you could earn on alternative investment of similar risk. So, para magkaroon tayo ng mas malinaw na pagkakaintindi dito, panoorin natin yung concept clip ng opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost, right? One way to define opportunity cost is it is the value of what certain resources could have produced had they been used in the best alternative way. All right, well, let's think about that. First off, the idea of cost. Don't get hung up on the idea that cost has to be in terms of dollars and cents. It could be, but not necessarily, right? An opportunity cost could be in terms of time. So think about, for example, what else could you be doing with your time other than studying? Right? Well, maybe you could go watch a movie. Well, in that case, then watching the movie is the opportunity cost of studying. It is what is the best alternative use of those resources. Right? But it can also certainly apply to money. Let's suppose that you go out and you spend $2 and you buy yourself a bottle of soda. Well, what else could those $2 have produced for you? Well, maybe they could have bought you a new pencil or a new pen or something like that, right? It is the best alternative use of those resources, but best is ultimately left up to define by you. So you see, opportunity cost actually is very subjective because it is left up to you to define what is the best alternative use of those resources. And that is the idea of opportunity cost.
Okay. So dito, kaya in-explain yung concept ng opportunity cost sa present value na topic kasi ang binigay sa atin na example ay mamimili tayo sa dalawa. Kung treasury bond ba yung pipiliin natin o certificate of deposit. Okay. So dito, latag natin yung formula, no? Latag natin yung formula. Wait, close natin muna to. And don't save. Buksan natin ulit para may bago tayong page. Okay. So dito, pinakita muna yung formula ng future value, no? So ito, naisulat mo na to kanina sa notebook mo. Ang susulat mong next, itong present value formula. Okay. Okay, so present value is equal to future value at n periods over 1 plus I raised to n. Okay. So, kung ako kasi, pag nakakita ako ng fractions, medyo, ako dyan, medyo ayoko makita yung mga yan. Okay, so itong formula na to, nire-revise ko pa ng konti. Kasi, ito ay pwede mo rin i-present as FV sub n multiplied by 1 plus I raised to negative n. Okay? So, mas simple siya tingnan for me. Okay? So, depende sa'yo kung anong gusto mong presentation ng formula na yan. So, same naman na magiging sagot. Okay, then yung concept nga ng treasury bond. So, nagbigay ng future value ng treasury bonds dito. So, given treasury bonds, 115.76. Okay. And then, ang interest rate is 5%. Okay. And then, ang number of periods is 3 years. So, substitute natin ulit ang formula. So, ang pag-compute ng present value is equals to 115.76 multiply natin sa 1 plus interest rate na 5% or 0.05. So, 1 plus 0.05 is 1.05. Raise natin sa negative. Okay, take note of the negative sign. Pag present value, negative 3. Okay, so solve natin. Gamitin natin ang calculators natin. 1.05 raised to negative 3. Ang makukuha mo dyan ay 99.9978 blah blah blah. Okay, so i-round off natin. Makukuha natin ang present value niya ay $100. Okay? So, nakita natin. Kanina, ito rin yung given di ba? So, ang binigay lang kanina ay yung present value which is 100. So, sinanap natin yung future value na 115. Okay, so yan, pinakita lang natin na yung relation ng present value and future value can be represented by these formulas. Okay, so ayan. So, bakit binanggit yung treasury bonds? Kasi, bibilin mo lang daw yung treasury bonds na yan kapag ang price niya is $100. Okay? Kasi nga, yung given dito ay yung CD na ganyan din ang amount, 100, tapos 5% yung rate. Okay? So, ayan. Kapag mas malaki yung nakuha mong present value ng treasury bonds, sabihin mas malaki yung babayaran mo, so, hindi mo na siya bibilin. Bibilin mo na lang yung certificate of deposit. Okay? So, ayun siya. Kaya, dinidiscuss dito yung opportunity cost din. Okay? So, dito. Isa pa, bibilin mo rin yung treasury bonds kapag mas maliit. Lalo mo siyang bibilin kapag mas maliit yung present value niya, no? Compared dun sa isa pa nating option. Na given naman dito, yung $100 na certificate of deposit. Okay, so basahin na lang natin. Okay, because 100 would grow to 115.76 in 3 years at 5% interest rate, 100 is the present value of 115.76 due in 3 years at a 5% rate. Okay? So, ayan. Finding present values is called discounting. Di ba kanina, ang tawag sa paghanap ng future value ay compounding. So, dito naman, pag present value ang hinahanap natin, discounting ang tawag. Okay? The process of finding the present value of cash flows or series of cash flows. Okay. Discounting is the reverse of compounding. Okay. So, wait lang. Linawin natin yung kanina, no? So, kapag 100 pala ang price ng treasury bonds, magiging indifferent ka lang pagdating sa kanila ni security, ni certificate of deposits. Okay. Kasi parehas lang sila na magiging future amount. Okay. So, magiging ideal lang sa'yo yung pagbili ng treasury bonds ng kung ano man yung given kapag mas mababa mo siya makukuha. Okay, so ayan siya. Yan, so dito pwede natin panoorin din yung concept clip na to ng discounting para makita natin.
Discounting, right? It's one of those concepts in everyday language we hear used a lot, right? You discount prices at a store. What does that mean? Well, they reduce the prices from what suggested retail prices. Well, it's kind of the same concept in finance. Discounting means reducing. But why? Why are we reducing the value of future cash flows? Well, it all goes back to that concept of the time value of money. Remember, the time value of money, the idea is that money that you get in the future is worth less than getting it today because the future is full of uncertainty. So $100 that you get in the future is worth less than getting that $100 today. So that means we have to discount that value of the $100 to its present value. So that's what the term discounting means. It means reducing the value of those future cash flows to their present value. That's how the term discounting is used in finance.
So, ayun siya. Okay, I hope clear tayo dito pagdating sa present value and future value. Okay, so basta sinulat na natin yung formula sa kanya-kanya nating index cards or notepads or notebooks, kayang-kaya natin solve yung mga problem na yan. Okay, so tara, move na tayo sa Next topic again, pinakita lang dito yung graphical view ng discounting process. So, tingnan lang natin yan. Okay. So, dito na. Paano kapag ang hinahanap na ay interest rate? Okay. So, dito, gagamit tayo ng algebra pagka ganitong problems ang binigay. Okay, so dito may illustration ulit. Okay, now, suppose we know the PV, FV, and N, and want to find I. For example, suppose we know that a given bond has a cost of 100 and that it will earn it will return $150 after 10 years. So, ilatag natin yung mga given dyan. Okay, so, close ko ulit to. Pwede yatang mag-new na lang, no? Oo nga, no? Yun na lang gagawin natin. Next. Okay. So, yan. Latag natin yung given. So, given ay yung present value muna. $100. Then, yung future value is given din, $150. Then, ang hinahanap natin ay interest rate. So, interest rate is question mark. Periods ay given din, 10 years. Okay. So, ano ang gagamitin nating formula? Either, pwede natin gamitin. Pwede natin gamitin future value formula, pwede natin gamitin yung present value formula. Pero para mas madali, ito na lang ang future value formula ang gamitin natin. Okay? Future value is equals to present value multiplied by 1 plus I raised to n. Okay? So ito, i-derive lang natin kung paano natin makukuha yan. Yung hinahanap, which is I. Okay, so latag natin kung yung mga given naman. Future value is 150. Present value is 100. 1 plus I is as is kasi I ang hinahanap. Then N is 10. Okay? So, paano natin to masisimplify? Di ba pwede natin i-cross multiply ito? Yung itong magkabilang side. Okay, so para gawin yun, ayan, i-multiply na, ayan na natin. No? So, para mas simple na lang, i-divide both sides na lang natin by 100. Okay, so, pakita lang natin 100. Ganun din naman yun. So, divide 100. So, i-cancel natin to. Ang matitira sa kabilang side is 1 plus I raised to 10. And then dito sa kabilang side naman is 150 over 100. Okay, so ayan. Medyo pangit yung sulat natin. No? Pero nakikita nyo, ito rin yung ginagawa ko dito. Ito rin yung ginagawa ko dito sa notepad. Okay, so simplify natin to. 150 over 100 is 1.5. And then dito, hindi natin pwedeng i-simplify pa to further. So ganyan muna gagawin natin dyan. Yes, 10. Okay, so anong problema natin ngayon? May nakita tayong problem. Paano ba natin kukuhanin yung I dito sa loob na to? Paano natin siya i-isolate? Okay, so dito, lipat lang natin tong na to, dito sa taas. Okay, so lagyan lang natin dyan 1.5 is equals to 1 plus I raised to 10. So, paano natin ilalabas tong I? Okay. Una natin gagawin is to get rid of this exponent here. Okay, paano yan gagawin? Di ba? Kung ano yung gagawin natin sa kabilang side na equation, gagawin din natin dito sa kabila. Okay? So, para mawala itong 10 exponent dito, anong gagawin natin? I-multiply natin siya by 1 over 10. Okay? So, kapag ginawa mo yan, makaka-cancel yung 10. Okay, and matitira yung 1. And then anything raised to 1 is the amount. Okay? So, ayan. So, since minultiply natin, since ni-raise natin ito sa 1 over 10, itong kabila rin, dapat may 1 over 10 dyan. Okay? So, ilinawan natin kasi medyo pumangit na siya. 1 over 10, 1 plus I. Okay, yung N, nabura na. Ay, yung 10 dito, nabura na. Okay, so i-solve natin. Ano ba ang 1.5? raise natin sa 1/10. It's 1.0414. Okay. And then 1 plus I. So ayan, nakikita na natin yung yung pag-asa, no? Yung I ay nakalabas na. So paano natin kukuhanin ngayon yung value ng I? 'Di ba 1 to? So napag-aralan natin sa algebra, no? Na kapag ililipat mo siya dito sa kabila, magpapalit siya ng sign. So 1.0414 minus 1 is equals to I. So ayan na yung computation mo sa I. So I is equals to 1.0414 minus 1 is si 0.0414. Okay, or 4.14%. Okay? So ganyan mo kumpitin yung yung I o yung interest rate. Okay? So inexplain din dito 'yan sa libro natin. Dito sa footnote, no? So ayun yung ginawa niya. Ni-raise niya yung left side na equation ng 1/10. Okay, pero hindi niya sinabi kung bakit niya ginawa 'yon. Ginawa 'yon para mag-get rid yung exponent doon sa kabilang side ng equation. Okay, so ayan. And then, dito binigay kung paano gamitin yung financial calculator na hindi natin gagamitin. So, dito tayo mag-stick sa ginawa natin na algebra method. Okay. So, ayan. Paano naman kung yung isa pang variable yung nawawala, yung number of years naman? Okay. Kasi dito sinabi dyan, no? Yung equation daw natin have 4 variables. Okay. So, if we know 3 of the variables, we can solve for the 4th. Okay. So, kung 3 yung given, mas solve natin yung panghuli. Okay. So, dito sa case na to, ang hinahanap natin yung isang variable which is I. Then, sa next case naman natin, ang hinahanap natin ay N. So, yung exponent na mismo yung hinahanap natin. So, para gawin yun, gagamitin naman natin yung logarithm. No? Yung nakikita nyong log dyan sa calculator nyo. Yan, magagamit natin siya dito. Okay. So, ayan. So, we sometimes need to know how long it will take to accumulate certain sum of money. Given our beginning funds and the rate we will earn on those funds. For example, we suppose we believe that we could retire comfortably if we had $1 million. We want to find how long it will take us to acquire 1 million, assuming we now have $500,000 invested at 4.5%. Okay? So yun nga, we can set up a formula that uses logarithms. So dito, sabi niya, calculator na lang gamitin natin. So sa atin, gagamitin natin logarithm. Okay, madali lang naman yan. Gamitin natin yung calculator natin. So ilatag natin yung given na. Okay, so pwede natin gawin yung new. Yes. Ay, no. Don't save. Ayun, ganun lang pala siya. So hindi mo na siya kailangan i-close. Okay, so ilatag natin ngayon, yung formula. Okay. So given yung gusto nating amount na ma-earn, which is future value. Future value is $1 million. So magkano daw yung pera natin today? $500,000. Magkano daw o yung interest rate? 4.5%. Then ang hinahanap natin ay yung kung ilang taon siya. Okay, so number of periods. So ilatag ulit natin anong gusto nating formula na gamitin. This case, future value formula na lang. Okay. Future value formula is, purahin muna natin to. Eraser. Nasaan ka? Tools, eraser. So purahin natin lang. So latag muna kasi natin yung formula. Is PV. Okay. Multiplied by 1 plus I raised to N. Okay. Then substitute natin. 1 million is equals to 500,000 times natin dito sa 1.045. Okay. then raised to n. Then again, alisin muna natin itong 500,000. So, divide natin both sides by 500,000. Okay, ayan. Divide natin both sides. 1 million divided by 500,000 is 2. Okay. And then, ito, ang natira dito is 1.045 raised to n. Okay, andyan na naman si n. Paano ba natin alisin yan? Okay, so, yung both sides ng equation ay lagyan natin ng logarithm sign dun sa ano natin, no? Sa solution natin. No? So, lagyan natin yung log dito, log 2. Okay, is equal to log or log, kung ano mang gusto mong basa dyan. Raised to n. Okay. Then, lipat natin dito sa taas kasi maliit na siya. Okay. So, paano ba natin i-rewrite to? Pwede natin i-rewrite kasi itong logarithm of 1.045 raised to n. Pwede natin siya i-rewrite as n logarithm of 1.045. Okay, so nakalabas na yung n dito. So, same lang yung dalawa na yan. Okay, so rewrite lang natin dito, no? Yung nilabas na natin yung n. Logarithm of 2 is equals to logarithm n logarithm of 1.045. Okay. So, ayan. Paano natin ngayon kukuhanin yung n? N lang kasing hinahanap, no? So, divide lang natin both sides by logarithm of 1.045. So, ayan. Okay. So, dito makakancel yung logarithm of 1.045 and matitira yung n na lang. And then, ito na yung formula. N is equals to logarithm of 2 over logarithm of 1.045. Ayan. So, ang pangit pa ng sulat ko dito sa pen tablet ko. So, sana naiintindihan nyo. Okay, mag-alala, binabasa na naman natin, binabanggit natin yung figures na sinusulat natin. So, in case na hindi nyo maintindihan, pakinggan nyo na lang. Okay. So, ayan. Na-solve ko na siya. And ang lumabas sa calculator ko, sana yun din ang lumabas sa calculator nyo. N is equal to 15.7473. Okay, so check nga natin kung parehas tayo ng na-solve ni Book. Ang gamit niya kasi financial calculator. Okay, so nasan tayo? Okay, ayun, the answer is 15.747 years. So, ayan na. Ayan siya. Okay. So, ayun. Nakuha na natin yung number of years. So, stop muna tayo dito sa first part ng ating discussion. And continue natin sa next video para hindi masyadong mahaba yung maging video natin. Bye-bye!